The Butterfly and the Jabuti, an unexpected friendship. Chapter 1, Meeting in the Forest. In a colorful and lush forest lived Nina, a young blue butterfly who loved to fly swiftly among the flowers. Her metallic blue reflections shone in the sun as she danced through the air, always impatient and eager to see new places. Nina had a dream, to discover what lay beyond the purple mountains that surrounded the forest. In the same forest lived Tito, an elderly and wise tortoise who carried stories of hundreds of years in his shell. He spent his days tending a small garden of rare flowers, content with his quiet, routine life. His main concern was to protect his precious flowers from the approaching dry weather. One day, while Nina was flying distractedly, a strong gust of wind threw her into a tree, injuring her wing. She fell right into Tito's garden, who found her among his favorite flowers. Chapter 2, The Deal. "My star petunias," exclaimed Tito, seeing some of the crumpled flowers. Nina, embarrassed, tried to apologize, but her wing hurt too much to fly. "I'm sorry, Mr. Tortoise. I promise to help look after your flowers until they recover," Nina offered, hoping to ease the situation. Tito, realizing that the butterfly was hurt, proposed a deal. "You can stay here until your wing gets better, but you have to help me with the garden and promise not to fly so carelessly near my flowers." Nina, though reluctant to stay put, accepted. After all, she had no choice until her wing healed. Chapter 3, Mutual Learning. As the days went by, Nina discovered that tending the garden was more interesting than she had imagined. Tito knew fascinating stories about each flower and shared his knowledge of the stars, which he watched every night. For his part, Tito began to be enchanted by Nina's adventurous stories about her explorations of the forest. She described colors and places he had never seen, even though he had lived there for so long. Meanwhile, Nina's old friend, the hummingbird Bella, began to visit the garden every day, bringing news of a great drought that was approaching. Chapter 4, Danger Approaches. With her wing almost healed, Nina noticed that the plants were beginning to wilt, despite all her care. The drought was coming faster and stronger than Tito had ever seen before. "We need to do something," said Nina, worried about the garden she had learned to love. "I know that beyond the mountains there's an evergreen valley. We could take some seedlings there." Tito was apprehensive. "But it's a very dangerous journey, and I'm very slow." "I can fly ahead and find the best route," suggested Nina. "And you can carry the seedlings safely in your hull." Chapter 5, The Great Journey. With Bella's help, they prepared the most precious seedlings for the journey. Nina, now fully recovered, flew ahead, looking for the safest way to Tito. For the first time in her life, she was flying carefully and attentively. The journey was difficult. They faced intense heat, slippery rocks, and even a frightening encounter with a snake. But with each obstacle, their friendship grew stronger. Chapter 6, The Green Valley. After much effort, they finally reached the valley. It was even more beautiful than Nina had imagined, with crystal-clear waterfalls and fertile land. Tito, although exhausted, smiled as he saw the new home for his flowers. Together, they planted the new garden. Other butterflies and animals from the area, enchanted by the rare flowers, came to help. Soon, Tito's garden was more beautiful than ever. "You know, Nina," said Tito, watching the sun set over the valley, "sometimes we need to get out of our comfort zone to find something even more special. And sometimes we need to slow down to see the beauty that's right in front of us." The garden thrived in the green valley, becoming a meeting place for all the animals in the area. Nina continued her explorations, but always returned to share her discoveries with Tito, who now had even more stories to tell about his own adventures.